Hey everybody, welcome back to What Do You Have to Lose? Again, I'm Mike Shannon, and I have with me an old friend, Michelle Crone. How you doing, Michelle?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. So you were one of the first people that I thought of when I wanted to start this podcast because you already kind of have something going on social media. It's called the Fit Fam Accountability Workouts and Recipes group that you added me to a while ago, and I have in no way participated.
Yes, yeah, that was a long time ago that I started that, a couple years ago, I think. I think like with a lot of people also, we are either super into it and consistent with it, and then it drops out, and then we start some more, and it just goes back and forth. So it's always there if you need it.
Yeah, and I follow it. I see what people are talking about and what you post, and I know some other people post. So I kind of wanted to maybe talk first a little bit, why you started it, kind of what your passion for the project, so to speak, was, and kind of the method behind it.
Yeah, I started that group just for friends, basically. It's a private group. It's an accountability group and recipes, just like you said. I call it Fit Fam. So people can go in there and post recipes. They can talk about their goals. It's basically just accountability and sharing with your friends what you're doing. So, for instance, I used to post in there every single Monday, and I should get back into it. But every Monday, I'm a very big proponent of fresh starts, and every Monday is a fresh start. So I would sit down and I would do my post about my goals for that week. Whatever it is that my goals were, you get to start over fresh every Monday. So I would put that in there, and I guess my like reason for starting it was just to get involved with my friends and to have that accountability, um, in my own circle, I guess.
I gotcha. Very cool. Um, I like the idea, and that's what this whole thing is about. I don't know if you've watched any of the videos that I've done before or kind of read about it, but so the whole thing is about trying something new. Like that's the point of what do you have to lose is try something, try anything, try everything. And so I really like the idea of like starting fresh, like that fresh start on Monday. I think that's pretty key. Is just think of you can think every day is a fresh start, but just like you want to start your week off on a good foot. Um, yeah, I think that's a really great, kind of tool for people to think of in the back of their mind. Like, oh, okay, maybe I didn't have such a good week. I didn't do my workouts as much as I should have, or maybe I ate junky, especially over the weekend. I don't know if you're like me, but the weekends I kind of
Yeah, I know
pretty
it's
good through
different.
the week. I can be good through the week, and then the weekends it's just gone.
Something to keep in mind too, which I was told because I have done also like professional like nutrition training with a nutritionist. She's actually my friend, but she's certified and all that stuff. So I've done that with her, and something about that, like I love Mondays, they're a fresh start. I feel like I can always start then. But one thing that us, like our human nature, is to like throw it all away until Monday. And then, so she told me, she's like, well, you can't do that. Like, if you started out Friday by getting drunk and eating Taco Bell at midnight and then waking up and having McDonald's for breakfast, are you going to just do that the whole rest of the weekend because, hey, it's the weekend and, Monday isn't there yet and I'll start Monday?
Mhm.
That's like something really important too, because I feel like sometimes if we fall off the wagon, it's like always our psychology is like, okay, well, I'll start Monday, I'll be good. Or like New Year's Eve is right around the corner. I'll just wait till New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
And it's like a cycle. And so I think that that's also like, I love Mondays, but at the same time, like it should be more in the like in that day, not postponing it, which is like hard for all of us.
yeah, I agree. I definitely feel that. Sometimes it's hard, like midweek, like Thirsty Thursday. Hey, let's go out and have some beers. And then you have a junky appetizer, and it's like, yeah, maybe I would rather sleep in today instead of hit the gym Friday morning, or
Yeah.
finish, keep doing well on Friday versus, oh great, now I'm half hungover or something, and now I'm not feeling so well.
Yeah, that's definitely something relatable.
Yeah, one of the things you mentioned when we talked about you coming on was, talking about, kind of how to stay on a good track when you do go out and when you kind of go out with your friends or your family and they want to go and they want to go somewhere that maybe you wouldn't necessarily think of as particularly healthy. So do you have anything that you like to do when you're in those situations where if your friends all want to go out Friday night to dinner and drinks and that kind of thing, like what do you like to do in those, to kind of stay on a good footing?
I struggle with this every time. So I have a lot of advice, but I'll tell you, I don't always follow my own advice. But I have a lot of advice.
Yeah.
So typically, like if you're going out to eat, I was taught this too, and I have done it a few times. Like if you know where you're going, figure out what you want to order before you go. So, like, that is a good tip that really does work. That way you're not like looking at the menu a lot. So you say, like, okay, well, that sounds good. And I actually like that. And that's like going to be healthier than, another option. So that's one thing. And then also just making sure that you're aware of what like healthy foods that you like. I do that all the time where it's like, oh, well, that sounds good, but the salmon, like with, delicious like carrots, like glazed carrots or something, I actually really enjoy. So that would have been, delicious and a lot less calories than something else. So I think definitely planning what you're going to have before and then like really, making it a thing in your head that like, hey, I'm going to choose something that's healthy.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a great point. Like I'm not that kind of person where I'm just like, if I'm gonna go somewhere, I want to go and I'll figure out. And Victoria, my wife, is always, we'll look at the menu before we go anywhere. We're like, hey, let's go. Michelle recommended MX Taco one time. And so I was like, hey, we should go check out MX Taco. And Victoria goes, well, look at the menu and figure out
oh
what
my
you
God,
want to
I
eat.
love MX Taco, by the way. I miss it.
Yeah.
I do that too, but like here's the thing too. So I'm a foodie and I don't want to eat something, I don't want to eat salmon or salad when I go out most of the time. I really don't. So it's like finding that balance. And when going out, if you want to go out and eat kind of whatever you want and have beers and stuff, then my thing is like pick one day of the week or 2 days, whatever it is. If you're going 3 or 4 days, you're not going to lose weight. I've like learned that the hard way. So you have to choose like 1 or 2 days, and it can't be all 3 meals. It can't be like, this, that, and that. It needs to be like, okay, I'm going to eat really low calorie, like breakfast and lunch. Because dinner, I'm going to go out, I'm going to drink beer, and I'm going to probably have appetizers and stuff.
Right.
So, like, what I've learned also is it's just the science of calories. So, if you have just 600 calories morning and lunch, and then you have 1,500 at dinner or more, like you're still not doing too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of just taking it easier through the day if you know you're going to be going out later in the day. Um, Yeah, like what you said earlier about how you always have good advice that sometimes you don't listen to. Like I feel like I have been, around gyms a long time. I've been around different diets. I think the wife and I went vegan for a year.
Oh yeah.
Just tried some different stuff, and so I feel like I have a lot of knowledge that I am terrible about applying. Like I know I should go to the gym more than I go, or I know I should maybe not eat cookies. You know,
Yeah.
cookies are my weakness. And craft beer, which I don't know if you noticed, but I'm drinking seltzer water instead of a regular beer.
I saw that. I was like, what is he drinking? Because
Yes,
those are probably what 100 calories versus a beer. Some of the beers are like 160, if not more, I've noticed.
yeah, and this is total carbohydrates 2 grams, and that's to me that's the big thing. So I am a big person, but I haven't suffered from a lot of things that bigger people do, specifically diabetes. And one of the things I've done on a pretty regular basis the last several years is going to my doctor and getting my blood work done. They have me come in every 6 months. I'm pretty sure it's because they're concerned that it could show up one day.
Mhm.
So I just had it done 2 weeks ago, and I went in for the follow up to kind of go through the numbers. And the doctor said, you're kind of knocking on the door of pre-diabetic. And she's like, I'm pretty sure it's your beers. She's like, I know you don't eat a ton of junk food. You try to do things health. She's like, I know you eat some cookies, but that's not, too crazy. But she's like, I'm pretty sure it's just the craft beer, those heavy, high calorie, high carbohydrate beers. And I do. I love them. Can't get enough of them. I'm a beer nerd. But when she told me that, I was like, okay, I'm 35, so let's make some let's make an easy change. So for me, it's I won't keep them in the house. I won't bring them home. We'll drink hard waters. You can't really see it because of my background. Hard waters in the house, but if we go out, I'll have a couple of beers. But that's a small change that I know will make a big difference. Next time I go back and I check my blood sugar, I'm sure it'll be on the
Yeah.
way down.
That's definitely a good point. If you don't want it in the house, don't have it in the house. So I have certain things about that, like we don't have liquor in the house anymore. That was something, that doesn't have to do with weight loss per se, but if you want to make a change, no matter what change it is, like you have to make actionable change. So by keeping things out of the house is going to prevent from those things to happen. So amazing.
Dogs.
Hold on one second. My little
Nope.
yak. No, sorry.
Yeah, I got my dog here with me too. He didn't want to be left out of the fun, just like
My
yours.
dogs are a handful.
Um,
But
yeah,
that's
I
a
think
good
that's a
change. I know that you like your craft beer, and man, I just got into craft beer recently, like over the last couple years.
yeah.
So, and I love trying all these different beers when I go out, and they're heavy and they're delicious, but I know they're like super heavy in calories too.
Yeah, I remember we used to have you come with us on our happy hours, and most of the time we would go to craft beer bars and
Yeah.
breweries. So you try to find something. But
Yeah.
yeah. And this whole thing is that this podcast isn't necessarily about all weight loss. I mean, for me, that's the biggest important piece. But I kind of want to focus on overall health and wellness, and like you talked about, the liquor. If that's an issue, it's easier just to keep it out of the house and keep it for a special occasion if it's affecting your health. Like if I had a liver issue, I would definitely have to cut all of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So for me, it's a little bit of a sugar thing. So that's why I'm making a change in that area. But speaking of the health and wellness, do you do any kind of other than like food and workout stuff? Do you do any like whole health like meditation or things like that?
No, I've still never even tried to meditate. I have a problem with being still. So I haven't really tried it. I would love to be able to do it. I've just never tried.
Yeah.
As far as yoga, I don't do yoga either, but I do stretching. So I recently hurt my neck, and I found out that I had a neck injury from like a decade ago. I was in a car accident.
Oh wow.
And when I went to the chiropractor, he's like, your neck is all jacked up. You were in a car accident? And I was like, well, now that you mention it, yeah, I was. I had I was in a car accident when I had whiplash, but I never thought anything was really wrong. So I
Mhm.
never went to the doctor. So now I go to the chiropractor regularly. So that's a good health and wellness thing. They crack me regularly. That promotes all kinds of health and wellness within your body. And then when I was there, he showed me all about this amazing like roller, those things that like a foam roller that you roll out
Oh
your soreness.
yeah.
So they have one of those there, but it has like little pokies in it. So if you roll on your back and your neck, it will like crack your back and your neck.
Okay.
And yeah, I have one of those for my house, and so I use that and stretch a lot.
Okay. Um,
That just like is my little thing. Like it encourages deep breathing too. When I like, when you really stretch, you're really stretching, and that's like a deep, like, whoo, kind of, a sensation almost.
Yeah, and that's something I should definitely try because I have a lot of back issues too, and so maybe I should look into the roller. But just doing different stretches, I don't necessarily because that's something that like frustrates me is like I'll get on a good flow and then I'll pull a muscle, I'll pull something in my back, and it happened. I don't know if you remember when we worked together. One time I got out of the car at our job and I hurt my back. I'm like, how did
I
I hurt my
remember
back
that.
getting in? Huh?
I remember that, and I've hurt my back living here and in Orlando. I've hurt my back like 3 times now.
Yeah, I've
So the
never
older
hurt.
we get, it's so easy, and like I slept wrong, and that's what happened with my neck.
Yeah, I've never hurt my back actually doing anything that would hurt your back. I
Yeah.
hurt my back bending over to pick something up light off the floor. I was watching a TV show the other day, and the guy says he sneezes and he pops his back out. And so it's just it's funny how the back is like that. And mine, being bigger, I have a tendency to deal with that more. And so maybe and so then like maybe I'm in a good flow, or like I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get to the gym, and then I hurt my back, and then I'm out of commission for at least a week, and then I'm like, okay, how soon do I want to push back into it? Because I've definitely pushed too quickly into a normal routine, and then my back got hurt again fairly quickly, and
Yeah, that's
so
not good because hurting your back or anything is like the scariest thing that I've ever gone through was this, semi recent neck injury and back injury because I couldn't move. I was like in tears. that shooting pain, I had to go to the urgent care and everything, and it was just like the scariest thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and even walking the dog is hard because like just trying to go for a walk, I take the dog and then like he pulls on my arm and it pulls on my back. And so it's just kind of like, all right, what can I do to still try to do something to be mobile a little bit that won't put too much pressure on my back? And I think maybe because I've heard of like, not just with the rollers, but like it's not quite yoga, but it's just definitely like stretching and deep breathing, and it can be a meditative sort of situation too. But I'm kind of like you, it's hard to sit still and be quiet
Yeah.
and quiet my mind.
Can you hear the dogs barking in the background?
A little bit, but it's not bothering me.
Okay, good. They're really loud to me. I don't know what they're barking at, but they're just gonna have to chill out.
Yeah, Daryl probably.
Yeah, maybe. But I would say, like, I don't know what your regimen is. Mine, little things throw me off track too, and that really sucks because it's like I'll be doing really good in a row and then like something happens. But I think just like hopping back on the wagon, like today's Tuesday, I didn't work out yesterday, and I have the same workout every time I do my Peloton.
Mm,
So I'm not doing anything different. I just want to stick to that. I love it. It's really good cardio. And I just want to do it every day. Like that's my goal because it doesn't make me sore really.
yeah,
So and it's like really good. I know I'm burning a lot of calories doing it. And so I enjoy it. I like thoroughly enjoy it. So I just want to do that every day. And like that's kind of my goal to prioritize that,
yeah. The Peloton, does it have different like workout? Like I know they have classes and stuff because I've seen the commercials, but like, and it looks really cool. But Victoria won't let me get one because they're not cheap. But
Yeah.
do they have like short ones? Like maybe it's like a Sunday and maybe you want to go hit brunch, but you want to at least do something. So can you do
Yeah,
like a
for
15,
sure.
20-minute one?
Yep, they have 10-minute ones.
10-minute ones. That's
So 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I always do 30 minutes. I've done a couple 45 minutes. But the ones that I do are usually pretty intense. Like the half an hour ones, I always do like sweat steady and like really high intensity for 30 minutes. But
yeah.
they have like, okay, I want to do, longer, and they're just like kind of more chill. But yeah, they're really awesome and I love it. I can't say enough good things about it. But with that being said, you can still do a lot. Like before I bought that, I was just walking,
Yeah.
like, and then doing the gym like 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah. Now the 10-minute ones, you haven't done one of those yet?
I haven't. That's like that's like not long enough because you're in your gym
Yeah.
clothes, like you're gonna do it. You might as well do it. You know what I
Might as well
mean?
get a little time on the bike. Yeah, 10 seems a little short, but I wonder like how intense a 10-minute workout could
I bet
be.
it still gets intense and you're getting your heart. And like Peloton's great, which I do not work from home anymore. I don't know
Mm.
if you do that, but I actually go to the office. I work from home on Wednesdays, so tomorrow I get to work from home. But
Oh, nice.
like for somebody that works from home, the Peloton, then yeah, oh, I need a break. I'm gonna go do Peloton for 10 minutes because it's also like they have really good music to it. You can choose your genre and everything.
Oh, okay.
So then that makes sense because you could be like, okay, I'm gonna do 10 minutes here, I'm gonna do 10 minutes there, and then do it that way.
Gotcha. Very nice. Yeah, if I had a Peloton, since I work at home, I would try to use it, maybe once an hour, hop on for a few minutes anyway, but maybe, on lunch, get a good ride in. And I bought like a used off Facebook Marketplace bike that seemed like it was going to work, but I got it home and I tried it a few times and actually kind of broke the leg.
Oh, was it like a stationary bike?
Yeah, so now it's holding my dress clothes for whenever I have to get on Zoom in front of a judge for my job.
Oh.
Yeah. So it holds my dress shirt and tie.
See, that's the thing too. Like, Daryl will probably never watch this, but like he bought a Bowflex and he doesn't use it.
Yeah.
So that's a thing where it's like, you know, that kind of stuff happens. Like, for instance, like I don't want to talk bad on anybody, but I bought a boxing, a bag. What do you call it? Like a
Oh, punching bag.
punching bag. There you go. Because I used to do kickboxing in Orlando. Like I
I remember
loved
that.
kickboxing. So I bought that and I never use it. I bought it used off the marketplace. It was like $250, but I used it like a couple times and then that's it. And then I got
Yeah.
my Peloton. So it's like I think that your whole theme of like, what do we have to lose is trying things that work for you, and like not all the time it does.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but it's like, okay, I made a mistake. I'm not going to use this Bowflex. I'm going to sell it and give it to somebody that will use it instead of having it as a coat rack.
I guess what do you have to lose? Maybe $50 on Amazon or Facebook Marketplace, and then storage space in your house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
but I think we all have that. We go through those things where we get super motivated, and then we get into a groove, and then I've done this countless times with my Planet Fitness membership, and I have this. I don't feel that guilty because it's $10 a month. So if I don't go for a month, I only lost $10. I upped it to the 25. So now I feel like, all right, that's a little worse if I don't go.
I think
Uh,
that like, the main thing about health, which I'm struggling with this too, because I'm at the heaviest that I have ever been in my whole life right now. Yet I feel in a lot of ways like the healthiest.
yeah,
In some ways, I feel like I'm the healthiest. I've cut back on a lot of other bad habits and I'm like doing the things that I need to do, but I still need to like lose the weight. And to me, it's kind of a health thing also. Like I don't want to get diabetes later. I don't want these things that come with like, being
yeah,
overweight. So I think it's like how bad do you want it and what are you able to put behind that? You know what I mean? So it's kind
yeah,
of the struggle.
yeah, 100%. What about like, we were talking a little bit about, kind of staying in a groove and starting on Mondays. How much do you feel like, like mental health will play into that for you?
I
Like,
think a lot. I think a lot. If you're not really mentally there, then it's going to be hard to get anything done.
yeah, I agree. Actually, we were supposed to do this for anyone who listens, all two or three of you at this point. That we were supposed to do this over the weekend, and I was just in a place on Sunday where even doing this was like, I'm gonna go on. I gotta talk about exercise and dieting, and I'm like, I just am no fucks given mode, and and it was just a tough place to put myself there. And so like even just to do a podcast, let alone get up and go work out. And so I think that mental health, I believe, is 100% as important as our physical health. And so, but I also feel like it's easier to keep myself in a good mental place if I'm in a good routine too.
For
um,
sure. That is like 100%. If you don't want to go do it because of the mental space, but then you're going to feel like sluggish because you didn't do it and beating yourself up.
right,
So I think that like anytime that you feel that, like give yourself that an extra thing by like, hey, like it's Tuesday today. Like if you didn't go to the gym yesterday and you didn't go today, it's like tomorrow's already Wednesday. If you want to hit at least 3 days a week, you better go. And then you'll feel good about yourself.
right. Yeah, and you'll feel better anyway. I mean, that's just one of the things about getting a sweat on is that you feel overall better. I mean, I don't know about you, but like my joints and everything feel better after I work out.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah. So, well, any other thoughts? Anything else?
I mean, my only other things that I would say as far as like helping with weight loss is just like the consistency is like the whole thing because
Yeah.
we just go like up and down of these things. But, like I'm really trying to get myself to be consistent. And then I think once you start losing weight, like 10 pounds or whatever, then you kind of get like addicted to it a little bit. And
Yeah.
then you start going more and you're like, okay, this is actually working. But I heard also, which I could be wrong on the exact percentage, but that, exercise is only like 90% of losing weight. It's literally what you eat. Like, it's not per se the exercise, like, exercise is good.
Mhm.
But if you really want to lose weight, it's just about changing your diet completely to cut out all those bad foods, to eat healthy and to have healthy routines with food. Which my routine with food is just like a roller coaster. It's like super healthy. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm the same way. It's like then the weekend comes and I'm kind of like way too loose multiple days in a row.
Right.
And then if I'm lazy or if then I'm hungover, like then everything goes out the window because it's like, oh, okay, well, let's just get this.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like if that's the pattern, it's never going to happen. Like I'm at that point now where I've been the same weight for so long, like for like a year, and I haven't lost anything, that it's the pattern of the unhealthy habits that are kind of like outweighing the healthy ones, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree with you, and especially like and I'm not an anti-carb person, and I think my next guest on the podcast, he did a keto thing, and he went crazy, and he lost a bunch of weight. Now he's running 5Ks all the time, and I'm just like, dude. But so he'll probably have more to say about the keto stuff. But I still think carbs are important, but I think it's tough because so much of our diet in America is carbohydrates. It's just like everywhere you turn, it's a carb. It's a carb.
Yeah, for sure.
You
And
know,
it's just like choosing healthy carbs too. Like I was depriving myself of bread just
yeah,
because like if I have bread, then I'm gonna have sandwiches all the time. And then if I have, so I just never bought bread for the house really. Like I'll buy the like sweet Hawaiian buns for Daryl because he can eat whatever he wants and not gain weight. So he'll have sandwiches.
skinny as a rail.
Right. So
Yeah,
I'll have that, but recently, like a slice of toast is not going to hurt me. So like for breakfast, I have usually like 2 eggs and like half avocado. That's like really healthy. It's nothing processed and all that. But I went to visit my mom in Washington and she always served me an egg with toast and it was like so good. It was just one piece of toast. I mean, that toast is not that bad. That toast is not going to kill me.
right.
And so I went to the bakery that we have here in Oklahoma City, the best bakery ever. And I bought a loaf of bread. And I was like, I can have a slice of bread with an egg in the morning. Like the overall calorie count for the breakfast for one egg and toast is still super low.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So,
and that's why I'm not like anti-carb because I know that you can still get away with it. But sometimes it's like you stop and you think you're like, oh, okay. So I had a salad with croutons and then pizza. Wait, I just had carbs twice. Even though there's not a lot of carbs in the croutons, but it's just like, or it's just like you have a meal and you have a side of potatoes, and it's just a lot of people talk about potatoes like they're vegetables. And I'm like, well, that's a carb.
that's definitely
Potatoes, sweet
hard.
potatoes, those are carbs. I think maybe they're a little better than potato chips, I'm sure, but it's
I think if we could all commit to something, which this is what the Fit Fam group's for, and I'm totally down if you want to, whatever, something works for you that I could get behind, like I'm down. Something where it's like, you can have 2 cheat days a day, but that's it. You stick to those days, and the other days you are a saint.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Because I
mean,
feel like sometimes for me, it's like, oh, a spontaneous day. Those are the ones that seem to be fun, of course, but then like everything kind of falls off the rails when you have a spontaneous day.
yeah, like a Wednesday, go out for happy hour and then have a terrible dinner and then dessert, and before you know it, you just had 2,500 calories in an hour.
Yeah.
Sometimes those things can go fast. There's a place around here. I don't know if you probably don't have them in Oklahoma, but you probably remember the Ale House. And
Oh yeah. Zingers.
yeah, and I'm looking at some of these things, and it's just like this is a 1,200 calorie meal, like without blinking, without batting an eye. That's no drinks. That's no appetizer. That's just
Yeah, it's
it's just dinner.
insane. Going out to eat, I'm like 99% sure that is like a huge part of me not losing weight. Cause I could eat super healthy at home. Like there's always days that could be better, but like I said, like I eat, half an avocado, eggs, like I'll bring my lunch to work. I try to eat as green as possible, like without any preservatives, basically. So I eat pretty well, but I love to go out to eat. So when I go out to eat, there's all kinds of things in that. So I think it's like limiting how much you go out to eat is like the only way in my mind that like I will limiting alcohol and limiting food by like, one day a week.
Yeah,
Like that's sorry, but like I overdo it a lot on all things. So, by limiting yourself to like, okay, one day a week, then you are, then the rest of the time, like you have no excuse.
yeah. So I do want to ask, give me a walkthrough of the day. So you gave us your breakfast. So you have the 2 eggs, the avocado, sometimes a toast. Like, and you said you try to do green. Like, so what are you doing? A salad for lunch?
No, I think I used the wrong word. Okay,
Oh,
so like I meant green basically by like clean eating. So I
I
try
gotcha.
not to have processed stuff.
Gotcha. So what's a,
Um,
what's a typical lunch for you? Just leftovers from dinner?
Lots of the time leftovers from dinner. We have a lot of leftovers all the time. What I'm making tomorrow is I love this recipe. I'll post it in my group, but it's like a chicken salad recipe.
Okay.
So instead of using mayo, though, you use Greek yogurt. You
Gotcha.
can
Okay.
use Greek yogurt to substitute mayo in like a lot of things.
Hmm.
So I do that. It's like got cranberry, celery in it, everything but the bagel seasoning. like the seasoning. It's so good. And so that's like an
Okay,
example of a lunch that I would take.
gotcha. Okay, and something is that something you make for dinner and then you just take your leftovers for lunch, or is that something specifically you
That's
would make?
something I specifically make for lunch.
Okay, and then like what's like give us a dinner that you would make when you're trying to eat clean, eat green.
Probably spaghetti squash pasta. So like it's not actually pasta, but it's spaghetti squash. I've made that a lot.
Yeah,
And then I do just have like the regular sauce that I would buy, so Alfredo or red sauce, whatever you like. You can have that with like shrimp, you can have it with veggies, but basically try to make it veggie heavy.
yeah,
Um, you can do basically like red sauce with meat if you want, or just with chicken. But the bulk of it is like the spaghetti squash, and then you can have like yummy chicken on it. That's really good. I do a lot of just like chicken veggies, you
yeah,
know. Sometimes even we have like instant mashed potatoes. I am saying that I don't like to have processed foods, but literally it's just like potato and whatever's in it. It's not like there's a lot of ingredients.
yeah,
Those are fine too in small doses. So like I'm just cautious of it. I'm like, okay, it's 150 calories. If especially if I didn't eat any carbs for lunch or dinner or for lunch or breakfast.
yeah, yeah. So that's
Then it's
not
like
bad.
balance it out, because we both have significant others and stuff too, where it's like I don't mind. I want to cook like, okay, here we have a meat, a veggie, and then like a side.
Yeah, yeah,
So I like to do that too. It's just controlling and not being like, okay, I need this like giant plate of mashed potatoes.
yeah.
Nobody
And
needs
I
that
think
many mashed potatoes.
yeah, and I think you touched on a point that, I know that it's a struggle for me when you're not in sync with your partner, your significant other. That when your significant other is not in a place, my wife has a very stressful job. She's a teacher. So most of the time her mentality is sleep, eat, drink, repeat. Just make it
Yeah.
through the week. Like exercise, diet, it's not a focus for her, on a day-to-day basis. She's just so fried, so it can be tough to stay, good habits when you don't have that at home, especially when she's the one who does most of the cooking because I hate cooking.
Yeah, that is like a huge struggle in all things, food, like anything else, bad habits or like drinking or literally anything. If you're not in sync, then it's doable, but I think it just puts more stress on like the person trying to do it, like me, the
Yeah,
one trying to change me healthy. So I guess it's just, I don't really have much advice for that other than you've got to try to do it on your own,
yeah,
or I don't know. I do the most of the cooking, so it's like I can kind of like cook mine different, or I just tend to make healthier things. But I mean, there's times, where it's not my idea to get, pizza delivered. And then why is it that there's always like three freaking pizzas? I don't want pizza left over in the house for fucking a week,
right.
and then I'm going to eat pizza for a week.
Yeah,
And he'll be like, "Oh, well, I love bringing pizza for lunch. It works for me." And then that's just like chaos because, sometimes the person trying to lose weight is also like a food addict and I will
right.
eat the pizza in the fridge.
I don't even think you have to be an addict. Pizza's just that good.
Yes.
What's,
So,
what's that one from The Office where it's like there's one that's hot garbage and one that's actually good pizza? I can't remember. Pizza by Alfredo or Alfredo's Pizza. I can't remember which one's the hot garbage.
uh, have to
Most
ask
of the
me on
time,
that
pizza
one.
is just phenomenal. Yeah. So yeah, it is tough. Now you used to do those pre-made meals, and we have friends, our friends Nikki and Andrea. They do the pre. Nikki's been on the podcast. They were doing those for a while. Where like it was just like a food delivery service, and it takes 10 or 15 minutes to prep the food, and I used to do that. Did you find that was easier to stay in a good routine with that?
Like the one that you cook it like HelloFresh, or
Yeah, something like that. But I remember you used to do another one.
I had one, the only one I've ever done. I've never done the one like HelloFresh or where they send you the groceries
Uh-huh.
and you cook the food. I've never done that. I did one with somebody where he prepared the meals and then delivered them.
Yeah.
That one I liked. It was very easy, but he did the same shit every week. I was so
Oh,
sick of it. It
so
was the
it's not
same
old.
recipe. It was like and living in a nightmare because I'm such a foodie. And then I also hate to waste. So it was like every meal, it was breakfast, lunch, dinner, and like 3 snacks in between. It was actually a lot of food,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to eat that every day. So I have that problem where I don't want to do a food service. I'd rather just make my own because I like snacking. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get like some strawberries because I like strawberries and like just healthy things that I like. Or
Mhm.
I'll go to the store and like get a watermelon and cut that up and make it very easy for me to snack on it because I do like snacking throughout the day.
Yeah.
But I don't like the like every day is the same food.
Yeah. I get you. Okay. So that's, I wonder, I'm sure that some of those grocery deliveries, I think you can kind of change them up, but I think you have to order them like a month at a time. So you kind of have to decide what you want to eat for the next month. And I don't
I
know
think
how
it's
much of a
great. I
variety.
mean, like if I lived alone too, and especially how busy I am, I would try it again. But
Yeah.
like I enjoy cooking and stuff, so I just got to find it out that way basically.
Gotcha. Well, Michelle, thanks for coming on the What Do You Have to Lose podcast. I think we got some really some good tips, some good new things for us to try, for me to try, and I appreciate it.
Awesome, of course. Well, good luck and I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Thanks, Michelle.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. It was really great to talk to Michelle. Old friend, great friend. And so that was really glad to have her on, and I'm glad she could come and join us tonight. Remember some of the things we talked about. Start fresh Monday, but hey, try to make a fresh start every day. It doesn't have to be a Monday, but Mondays are always a great way to reset. Try something different, try something new. Um, that's what this is all about. And I'm going to keep talking to people. I'm going to keep making some videos, and we'll find new tips, tricks, and ways to better our health and wellness, and maybe our ability to talk. That might be helpful if we're going to talk to people. Anyway, thanks so much. Appreciate you. Leave a comment or something. Follow the page if you like what we're up to. Um, yeah. So have a great night. And again, I'm Mike Shannon. What do you have to lose? Give it a try. Take care.